If you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark.
In this bulletin, declining pass rate for students who sat for the Year 12 certificate examination last year. Fuel and LPG gas prices to be reduced from Thursday. And a fisherman arrested in the restricted environmental emergency zone. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. There has been a decrease in the pass rate for students who sat for the Year 12 certificate examination last year. The pass rate was 66.4% compared to 75% in 2013. Eleanor View has more.
This is the lowest Year 12 pass rate recorded by the Education Ministry in the past 4 years. 25 schools recorded below 50% pass rate.
We want to put a lot of resources to these schools where factors outside the student are affecting their performance. Factors such as school resources, appropriate qualified teachers, adequate number of teachers. So all these factors will be addressed this year to ensure that external factors does not affect the student's performance.
There was also poor performance from maritime and rural schools.
There are a number of maritime and rural schools. The number of maritime and rural schools where performance is a bit worrying. So this year we're going to do detailed analysis school-wise and subject-wise and see how we could devote more or devolve more resources to address this issue of poor performance in some of the schools.
Meanwhile, Year 12 students turned up in big numbers at the exam office in Suva to collect their results. There were a lot of smiling faces.
I'm super excited. And I guess I owe it all to the Lord. He is the one who giveth the knowledge and the wisdom.
I attend FNU to do business management. I don't know what my mom's thinking of my mark, but I'm so proud.
My plan this year is to go for Form 7 and try to pass again from there in order to go through again.
I'm very happy.
What do you plan to do this year?
Actually, I'm from Ba. But now I'll be pursuing my education from General College.
For those who didn't make the cut, this advice from the Education Minister.
While students have failed, but that's not the end of it. They have opportunities to continue the study in the high school system. We encourage students who have not done well that they can work hard and improve their performance this year. And they can proceed to higher education next year.
The highest mark recorded for the Year 12 certificate exam is 385 out of 400. 12,344 students sat for the exam in 166 centres across the country. Eleanor View, FBC News.
A 22-year-old fisherman of Valelevo Nasinu has been arrested for fishing in the restricted environmental emergency zone. Police confirmed that, acting on a tip-off, the suspect was found fishing yesterday at the Veiraisi shoreline, between Nandawa and Nandera. He has been charged with disobedience of a lawful order and has received bail. The Environmental Emergency Declaration Regulation has been implemented for areas from the mouth of the Rewa River to the Fiji Development Bank foreshore area, including Nukulau Island, the whole of Lauvala Bay area, and 3 kilometres further up the Cunningham River mouth. The restricted zone was declared on the 31st of December in the aftermath of the burst sewage trunk line at the Nambour Bridge in Suva. Fuel and LPG gas prices will be reduced from Thursday. Minister for Industry, Trade and Tourism Fayez Koya today announced the reduction following the review by the Fiji Commerce Commission. Savara Tamboa has more.
Fuel and LPG prices will be going down a second time less than a month after the government announced a reduction. From Thursday, 1 litre of diesel will cost $2.01, a decline of 7 cents. If you are buying a litre of motor spirit, it will cost you $2.31. The price of a litre of premix will be 6 cents cheaper at $2.18. Kerosene will cost $1.58 a litre, a decrease of 5 cents. The price for a 4.5 kilogram cylinder of gas will be $15.33. A 12 kilogram gas cylinder will be reduced by 41 cents, which will from Thursday cost $40.87. The price changes follow the reduction in international oil crude prices. Prices will vary outside Viti Level and Vanua Level. Sabera Tamboa, FBC News.
National airline Fiji Airways has cancelled all its flights to Tonga due to volcanic ash, which is causing visibility problems. Fiji Airways had its Nausori to Tonga flight turned back upon approach yesterday due to the problem, which has affected many airlines flying in and out of Tonga. Fiji Airways CEO Stefan Pekla says their team will run a risk assessment of the situation to determine whether flights can resume. Pekla says all international flights to Tonga have been cancelled from today. A large volcano exploding out of the Pacific Ocean near Tonga has been causing visibility problems for airlines flying into Nuku'alofa. No school should be giving out school textbook lists, says the Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy. Reddy told a media conference today schools that have given out textbook lists will be dealt with.
The free textbook scheme was first introduced in the 2013 school year. This year, the Education Ministry plans to stock up textbooks for all schools so each student can have one.
Every school has a test bank. What we want to do is to replace the old materials by providing a new set of materials. We also want to now increase the total volume of textbooks available in schools so that each student can have a copy each.
All schools should have their textbooks from the ministry by March at the latest. Dr. Reddy has refuted claims that this will affect students' studies.
The resource material is there. It's not that they don't have anything now. No, there's some commentators who have said that there won't be any material for the next 2 months. No, that's not true. It's there. But we are now putting our foot down and saying no school should give out any textbook list. Because by giving out the textbook list, you're indirectly giving out a signal to parents that they can go and purchase textbook when we want to.
Not mincing his words, the Education Minister says schools that are giving out textbook lists will be dealt with.
They were told we want to now get a list of all those schools who have defied that instruction, and they will be taken up for task.
The free textbook initiative is part of government's plans to ensure that all children in Fiji have access to education. Eleanor Turangai View, FBC News.
5 men charged with unlawful cultivation of dangerous drugs in Lambasa have been further remanded in police custody. The men have pleaded guilty to the charge and will be sentenced on Monday. 7 men were initially arrested following a number of raids during Operation Sasamaki in the Northern Division last week. Police seized about 4,000 plants believed to be marijuana in the drug raids. Coming up, Tourism Fiji shortlisted candidate for CEO position withdraws during negotiations.
My name is Luca. I live on the 2nd floor.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Mulubinaka for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Taviuni Dive Resort has officially opened for business on the Garden Island. At the opening celebrations last night, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama said the new dive resort shows the investors' confidence in the economy. Shireen Lata reports.
Taviuni has a new attraction. This dive resort is now officially open, 10 months after construction began at this very site. With 8 privately sited bures, social areas for divers, a restaurant and a bar, the resort aims to attract more visitors to the garden island.
Completed in November, this facility was designed with the needs of divers in mind, to take advantage of the spectacular diving available off the coast of this island. I'm told the enthusiasts come from all over the world to visit Fiji's world-famous Rainbow Reef alone.
About 50 people are employed at the new resort. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says the dive industry is developing in the country. He adds developments have taken place on the island of Taviuni.
We've been able to carry out unprecedented amount of development over the past few years here on Fiji's Garden Island in the fields of hydropower and education, infrastructure, correction services, agriculture.
Bainimarama has also promised the people of North that same level of services will be provided to them as those living on Viti Levu.
We believe that every Fijian, no matter where they live, not only deserves the same access to such things as electricity, water, education, health and telecommunication, it is their right.
The resort, which is owned by Carl and Mariel Fox, was constructed at a cost of about $2 million and it is located in Songolu. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
The Health Ministry has promised to look into concerns about the shortage of doctors at the Nandi Hospital raised at today's public consultations. Assistant Minister for Health Veena Bhatnagar is touring the Western Division this week. Christopher Chand reports.
The National Health Service is often criticized. Today, people in Nandi had the chance to direct some of their grievances to the Assistant Minister.
But we need bigger mortuary.
It's a place. Then you put her on the bed. And then I say, don't talk high. We know what to do. I say, if she fell down, she died, what will happen?
Half of the persons with disabilities, yes. Like when we go to the hospital, it's a little bit difficult to see the lack of communications between us and the staffs.
Bhatnagar assuring people their suggestions and frustrations are being noted and they hope to rectify some of the more immediate problems.
I think the public knows that we have been short of doctors and nurses, but with the new postings, with the new batch of doctors and nurses, we hope to improve on our services as far as doctors and nurses are concerned. But specifically for Nanny Hospital, yes, the doctor who's sick and the doctor who's on leave, they will immediately have to compensate for that. I mean, get other doctors to do the relief.
The consultations are expected to help the ministry understand some of the problems people are facing with our health services.
All the complaints. I mean, that is why we are taking everybody's complaint on board. And we will be analyzing that and see, I mean, what are the differences or the similarities between the complaints, and it should be and it will be worked on.
Bhatnagar visited the Nandi Hospital later today and will be in Lautoka for a similar consultation tomorrow. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
9 police officers will be leaving for South Sudan on a peacekeeping mission on Saturday. The team presented its itatau to Assistant Commissioner of Police Henry Brown this afternoon in Suva. William Esoko, who is heading the team, says they will be working with the United Nations Civil Police and the local police.
There'll be a lot of challenges, the environment, the working environment, the atmosphere itself, and being away from home for that period. That'll be encouraging, I mean, challenging for all of us. But we are going in as a team. We'll work as a team, and we're trying to put Fiji where the other colleagues have placed Fiji on the world map in terms of peacekeeping, and come back to Fiji in flying colors and meet our families.
The team will be in South Sudan for a year. Tourism Fiji has not been able to appoint a new chief executive officer following its recent selection process that had attracted global candidates. Board Chairman Stefan Pickler says they were negotiating with the successful candidate who later withdrew due to unforeseen circumstances. Pickler says they hope to go through the process again to shortlist another set of candidates later this month. He says Tourism Fiji can't afford to compromise on the benchmark they have set and need to attract someone highly professional. Tourism Fiji has been without a CEO since the departure of Rick Hamilton in May last year. Ken Freer, who was acting in the position, resigned last month, and Tourism Fiji's New Zealand Regional Director Wayne Deed is currently the acting CEO.
The board had interviews with 3, then we were down to 2. Then one of the persons that desired one couldn't do it because of family reasons. And the last one we were negotiating with, and then suddenly his wife had a health scare, so she couldn't move. Yeah. So now we're going again back, not to the starting point, but we are again tracking some candidates.
Pickler says they have to be patient in order to get the right person to lead Tourism Fiji. And sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, Fiji Warriors prepare for 2015 Pacific Rugby Cup, and Australian swimming instructor here to train local coaches and swimmers. This and more after the break.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
Only a handful of players turned up this morning for the Telecom Fiji Warriors training session at the High Performance Unit Gym in Suva. The players underwent a solid 1-hour run at the ANZ Stadium, followed by a grueling conditioning session. The majority of the squad is made up of Suva and Nandrunga players. The Warriors' 5-year winning streak at the Pacific Rugby Cup came to an end last year after failing to reach the final, which was eventually won by the Argentina Pampers. Fiji will host the PRC on March 10th to the 23rd. A clinic is being held for swimming coaches at the Damoda Aquatic Centre in Suva. The Fiji Sports Commission assisted Fiji Swimming in bringing over renowned Australian instructor Hayden Belshaw to train local swimmers. This is also part of a wider plan to reduce the drowning toll in the country. Tsale Ndaudakadaka has more.
A 2-day Train the Trainers course is underway at the National Aquatic Centre. Participants are swimming coaches and members of the local community. This is part of Swimming Fiji's efforts to help curb the drowning toll, which has already claimed the lives of 2 people this year.
Just would like to thank Fiji Swimming as well as the Fiji National Sports Commission for putting some funds in for this very important, I guess, information, as well as and getting me back over here. So I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can drop the amount of drownings within Fiji.
Government has increased funding to engage short-term experts like Belshaw, who offer a wide range of services for the country's benefit.
Our current rate of drownings this year is not looking good, so any help we can do in sort of trying to create better water safety right around our communities is good. So the Commission is contributing to this. We're encouraging other sports to bring people to Fiji. Instead of us sending people away, we can get a lot more benefits by bringing people in like Hayden to contribute to the sport in a big way.
Belshaw's next assignment before he returns to Australia at the end of the week will be to work with the national squad preparing for the 2015 Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea. Salendo Dakavak, FBC Sports.
Table tennis mentors from around the Pacific region are in the country for a 10-day coaching clinic. The course is being undertaken by the Oceania Table Tennis Federation to upskill trainers who will then train other coaches as well as players. 23 coaches from 11 countries, including Fiji, are part of the course, which is being conducted by Oceania Development Officer Michael Brown from Australia.
This course is for 10 days and it's followed by an international training camp where these coaches will then pass on their knowledge to some of our local players, both at the beginner level and at our national squad members, and followed by the 2015 Pacific Energy Fiji Open.
The Fiji Open is the first local tournament of the table tennis calendar and will be held in Suva on January 23rd to the 25th. Fiji Under-20 football coach Ravinesh Kumar has confirmed they will release Ba and Suva district reps for the Pillai's Garment Champions vs Champion competition. Both teams have a number of players in the national squad, which is currently in camp, preparing for the Under-20 World Cup to be played in May in New Zealand. He says the players will return to camp straight after the match. The Suva Ba match is at 3 p.m. on Sunday at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. The 11 Pacific nations competing at this week's OFC Under-17 Championship are ready for battle. Ready for battle they hope will take them to the FIFA World Cup in Chile. The tournament, which started today, has no shortage of exciting young talent out to impress international scouts. Indra Singh has more.
The 15th edition of the tournament is likely to be one of the most competitive yet, and defending champions New Zealand are sure to face strong challenges from several of the Pacific Island nations. Much focus has gone into the development of young talent across the Oceania region in recent years, and youth academies have been established in a handful of OFC's 11 member associations.
We'll participate in the tournament and we believe we will have a good challenge with the other teams.
Pathways in place have already produced many players, and some of these will be in action for their countries, meaning the young All Whites face a far from straightforward task in earning their 5th title in a row.
Our opponents, and we take this match very seriously, but the objective is to win.
The Fijian youngsters are also taking part and are playing New Zealand this hour.
Well, excitement is there, and also that we have to keep in mind that they are the defending champions. So we will give all respect to New Zealand, but then we will try our best to play the football which we want to.
This is also an opportunity for the youngsters to prove their worth, with Wellington Phoenix coach Ernie Merrick also present. Apart from wanting to be crowned champions of Oceania, this is also an opportunity for the players to impress and earn contracts. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
That was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The South Pacific Stock Exchange has recorded an impressive year with an average market return of 14.8% in 2014. This includes a dividend return of around 4% with a 10.8% capital increase in the company's share prices. Ellen Stolz reports.
SPSC Chief Executive Janita Prasad says she is pleased with the positive growth in 2014.
Overall, I think we're pretty happy. We've seen companies that have paid dividends after a 7-year break or 5-year break, so the turnaround was pretty clear. We have also looked at some of the companies that came up with double digits. So 8 out of the 12 companies that increased in share prices actually had double-digit growth, which means as high as 30% increases in their share prices.
However, this isn't to say the year didn't have its fair share of obstacles.
We did have impediments in terms of liquidity, so a company could actually perform better in terms of their financials, but because the shares are not traded as actively, the price sometimes were not coordinated with the way the company was performing.
Despite the challenges faced last year, the South Pacific Stock Exchange believes this year will be a better year.
Prasad says going forward, they will be increasing their efforts to educate the shareholder on their rights and helping the general public to understand the true value of the companies they are investing in.
Return like for 14.8% from the stock market, which is actually tax-free because you don't pay any dividends on dividend tax, and you don't have any capital gains tax. So that entire 14.8% is tax-free for Fiji residents. So now people are waking up to the fact that, hold on, the stock market is there as an investment option, and why aren't we using it to generate decent returns for future?
There are currently 18 companies registered on the South Pacific Stock Exchange, and Prasad says she hopes in 2015 there will be more. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Cloudy conditions were experienced over most parts of the country today. A trough of low pressure with associated cloud and showers lies slow moving to the west of Fiji. It is expected to intensify and move closer to the group later tomorrow. Meanwhile, an active trough of low pressure lies slow moving over Vanuatu. Maximum temperatures reached the 30s today. Suva, Nadi and Lautoka hit 30 degrees, while Sabu had 31 and Lambasa 32 degrees. Forecast to midnight tomorrow. Occasional showers over the western and interior parts of the larger islands. Some showers especially in the afternoon or evening elsewhere today. Rain developing over the west and gradually spreading to the rest of the group later tomorrow. Expect occasional rain and a few thunderstorms over most places on Thursday. And recapping our main stories, declining pass rate for students who sat the Year 12 certificate examination last year. Fuel and LPG gas prices to be reduced from Thursday, and a fisherman arrested in the restricted environmental emergency zone. To our poll question for this week, we're asking, should full banking services be made available? On Saturdays, visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News. Or simply #FBC News. That's our news for today. Join us again tomorrow at the same time. Bye for now.